Hey y'all, how y'all doing? What's up? What's up? So in this ROA review, we are going to talk about Drew's deceptive truths, honey. We are going to get into all the things that Drew does not tell the truth about. Not even all the things that she don't tell the truth about. How she is so okay with just not telling the damn truth. Drew has a lot of instances in this episode where she been caught up in lies, and then she tries to downplay it as though, girl, you know I was just playing. No, we didn't know what you was just playing because you kept doubling down on what you said before. So, y'all, here are today's topics. Drew is a stand-up comedian. She's a self-proclaimed stand-up comedian. Drew and Britt's sit down. The interesting little takeaways I got from that. Portia helping Drew out the door, and I mean out the ROA door. Okay, and then Portia's entourage. Very interesting. So, without further ado, let's get into it, y'all. Okay, so first let's talk about Drew telling Angela that Michael Jordan was her cousin. Angela, since she is connected in that area, she went and fact checked it, and she said, girl, everybody say you are not his cousin at all. Drew was just like, well, I was just playing, it was just a joke. No, then they play it back. Thank you for Bravo for playing it back, how Drew never once said, oh, I'm just joking, or we could be cousins. But she told Angela, well, I mean, it's the last name, we could be cousins. Drew, that's not funny. Like, it's annoying. You too damn grown and old for that. Even Angela said, girl, we too damn old to be lying about who we cousins to. Second thing that Drew lied about. She claimed that she received a DM from the person's manhood that Britt was allegedly slopping on in the video. Or pictures or whatever it was. She claimed that she received a DM from that person. And then she later, when she sits down with Britt, says, well, some people who knew who it was. Because Britt was like, if you knew exactly who it was it somebody that you had personally? Like, how would you know that it was? Well, it was just some people that said that there was possibly it was this person. Drew, that's annoying as hell. It really is. Drew at this point is becoming extremely annoying. And it also makes it where when you're watching her situation where her divorce play out, it's like I'm not interested. And I think a lot of other people will say that they're not interested in watching it because it's like, is it even real? And we've been saying this about Drew for several seasons now. Like, what are we getting? Are we getting Drew, the actress, trying to produce her own image on this show, or are we getting the real transparent Drew? And I don't feel like we are. I feel like Drew is constantly lying, and it's just at the point where it's just like, why is she even here? Like, why is she here? Show her out the door, which we're gonna get into Portia and Drew's situation. So next up, as promised, we're gonna talk about Drew and Britt's sit down. So Drew and Britt have a sit down at the bar, and first thing show up, Drew lying. She's like, oh yeah, I was so excited and so glad that you reached out. No, that's not what you said. When you was with Angela, you said, girl, I don't even know if I'm interested in being bothered with her. I'm just gonna let that sit there. That she reached out to me and was asking me for drinks. Girl, I ain't even interested. As soon as she show up, ain't nobody asked her if she was excited or happy that that Britt reached out to her. She first thing lie come right out of her mouth. I was so happy that you reached out to me, girl. So then Drew gets into what I feel like is antagonizing Britt. Like, so, did you sell it? And Britt was like, sell what? The cat. Did you sell it? And then this was the interesting part. Britt starts stumbling over her words. She's like, no, I never and Drew was like, what? Huh? What? Come again? What are we saying? What? Can you spit it out? No, I never did, the P word. So she goes into, I hate when I have to try to figure out how to say what I just want to say here on YouTube. Y'all know what it's talking about. The P. She never created a video. So she gets into saying, well, me and my friend did webcam. We were two young college girls, and we thought it would be cute to get on and do webcam, make a cute little coin. Like, no big deal. Like, okay, whatever, move on. And I agree with Britt on that. So what? That's what we did. Then we felt like we was gonna make a coin, and we did, and that's that. Like, what's the deal here? And Drew sitting there being extremely judgmental, which reminds me to that Prophet P or Prophet, whoever it was, that she was coming at the other girl that came on the show. She was like really being very demeaning and judgy, and I guess Drew considers herself one of the First Wives clubs, or I don't know, honey, First Lady clubs. I don't know what Drew thinks she is, but Drew has repeatedly been very judgmental about what women do, with whom they do it with in the bedroom. It's like, Drew, we don't even know if you like women or not, because word on the street is you might like to be with other women in the bedroom. So stop it, cut it out. So she's like making all these faces and being real judgy, like, It's like, that ain't no read to bring up this girl sleeping with somebody, or just being nude, selling pictures, selling images. People been doing that forever. So selling what they look like for some coin. If you feel like you got to do that to get some coin, hell, if your bills need to be paid, who else gonna pay them? Okay, so if that's what you feel like you need to do it. I ain't got no problem with that. Just do what you need to do to pay your bills. Whatever. So I felt like she was being very judgmental with that, and it was quite annoying. Like I said, Drew is at the point with me right now. She just is annoying as hell. I just can't say no other way. Drew is just plain out annoying at this point. So yeah, but I feel like Britt came to the sit down with good energy, trying to be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Let's try this again. Let's try to get on the same page. Now, I think Britt is realizing you coming in there as the bad girl, the baddie, everybody getting lined, ain't gonna work. Not here on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I think she's kind of realizing that, like, you gotta come in and try to build some sort of genuine relationships with these people. And then if you need to turn up, you turn up. But you don't just come through the door trying to turn up. So I think Britt is realizing that. And yeah. So that's what I took from Britt and Drew sit down. Drew was being very judgmental. She lie out her ass. And it's, yeah, we're pretty much done with Drew. All right. So next up we have Porsha. What I feel is Porsha helping Drew out the door. So Porsha's having this birthday getaway in Nashville. Nice little turn-up situation. And I feel like, yeah, you have a nice little turn-up situation. You don't want certain people there. And if I feel like you a lie all the time, I'm not going to want you in my face. And especially when it comes to my family. Now, Porsha is not married to Dennis, but she has a child with Dennis. So you lying to me in my face when it comes to my family, I don't want you in my circle. So I completely understand Porsha on her take on that. Like, Drew, I don't want you here. Like, girl, bye. And then that brings me back to Angela trying to force Drew on Porsha. It's like, Angela, you even yourself saw here that Drew lies all the time. So how are you teaming up with Drew? So Angela feels like it's necessary to coerce Drew into coming on to Porsha's birthday trip, when Porsha made it clear, even though she tried to pretend like she didn't understand what Porsha was trying to tell her on their little Zoom meeting, that I don't want Drew there. Because soon as Angela brought it up to Porsha on their little Zoom meeting about Porsha's birthday plans, Porsha, as soon as Angela brought up Drew, Porsha was like, I don't know why, but it seems like Angela's, her video is the only one that's muted right now. Angela, you know what that girl is saying to you. She's saying, don't bring that heifer on my on my trip. Angela like, well, I feel like you should come, Drew. I feel like y'all should do this. Y'all should meet up. You know how people try to be the person on these reality shows to get stuff stirred up because they trying to secure their position. I understand it. I get it. But, I don't know. I don't know if I would push some stuff like that. But whatever. That's what Angela decides to do. And as we can see, it's not going over very well with Porsha. because once they get there, Portia's like, girl, I did not ask you to bring that girl on my trip. And then we talking about me at the table, and you bring her up, and you just kind of sour the whole mood with talking about Drew's gonna be showing up at any time, at any moment. It was just super. I don't know. Right now, it's like, Angela, you teaming up with Drew is making you annoying as well. And I actually like Angela for this show. I really want to see her return next season. I really think she'll be a good addition to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. But right now, Angela, you're giving annoying because you're trying to force somebody up in somebody else's face. And you don't know neither one of them for real. So it'd be different if you understood their relationship and you was like invested, you kind of like a third party interest, heavy indebted interest. I can understand, want to see the resolve between the two girls, but you don't know really neither one of them. So find something else to do, girl. But anyway, Portia's not feeling. She's not interested in Drew showing up. So this is when we get into Portia's entourage. So at the dinner table, at Portia's birthday dinner, Portia brings up that, this is a great trip. It'll be awesome. But we bringing in people who I didn't ask to be here. And Portia's entourage was like damn near 7 people deep. Portia's entourage was like, who? What? Who would do that? Why would you do that? Why would you bring some girl she don't like to her birthday? La 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 la. And they just going in on Angela. And I'm like, girl, you kind of deserve that. She kind of got offended. It was like, I mean, I don't appreciate people just teaming up on me. I don't feel like what I was doing was bullying and this and that. And everybody, Portia's entourage is like, girl, yes, which her entourage is like 2-3 friends and her sister. And I'm like, it's already so many of y'all bees up in that house. How you gonna add like an extra 4 or 5 people to the group? I don't know how many number. The number keeps getting larger. You let me tell it, but it seemed like it was too many damn people. Like, I wonder if they staying in the house with them. I hope that all of them ain't trying to stay in the house together, because that's a hot ass mess. I couldn't do it. But yeah, Portia's entourage is deep. I'm like, Portia, was you feeling like you need a backup? I think she does feel like she needs backup, because her and Shamia ain't really cool like that. They playing it cute for the cameras right now, but we know from word on the street they ain't really cool like that. They ain't clicking on all cylinders together right now. So I feel like Portia felt like she needed to add get herself a support group while she was there, and it was really just team too much. Portia, you filming for this show, maybe add one friend, maybe add just your sister. But girl, like, you got a whole nother Real Housewives of Atlanta community behind you. Remind me of, she also had Monyetta, who was on there as Candy's friend a couple of seasons ago. So it's like, or I think it was just last season. So it's like, girl, what is, I think what some of these girls are doing, they know Real Housewives of Atlanta is looking for new cast members, and so they're trying to force certain people into the forefront so they can be considered for the show, especially people who are their friends. But it was really too much. It was way too much overkill. But yeah, this episode was pretty good. It wasn't like the bomb.com, but it was pretty good. It's a nice little setup for the next upcoming episodes. So I don't know, y'all. It'll probably be pretty decent. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's just so hard to find decent stuff on TV right now. So even though this ain't giving, it's still something to watch. It's still some of my favorite cast members. But I think at this point, we all have come to the consensus that Drew is no longer needed on this show. And I think Portia is helping Drew help herself out the door. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about these 4 topics that we discussed in today's video. And yeah, y'all, that's all for me. I will chat with you guys later. Bye-bye for now.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
No, you know.
Oh.